I'm in Hawaii. Listen, if you listen very carefully, I'm actually set up outside. If you listen, you could probably even hear a sound in the background. That's the ocean. And yes, I am bragging. I'm so happy to be here. We're having a wonderful day. Got to see the troops today. Got to do a lot of things. One thing happened, though. I was out on the USO, and I guess this was from the press conference, but I missed it. And that, okay, back up. I'm talking Aldo. I'm talking Aldo's fight with Marlon. And so many people thought Aldo won. Okay, I can tell you I was in a building with over 10,000 people that were all fight fans. They all thought that Aldo won. It was just one of those fights. Now, this was very close and very competitive, and I don't have sour grapes, but you do have to take that to juxtapose against the statement I'm going to make, which is Henry Cejudo wants Aldo. Henry Cejudo watched the fight. He said that Aldo won. That was his opinion. I should be fighting Aldo next. Dana got asked about this and said, I don't hate that fight. That's what Henry wants. I don't hate the fight. That doesn't mean that fight's going to happen, but that means that the door of that fight option has not been closed, and I do think that that is interesting and compelling. I think there's a real conversation there. Is there any way that Jose Aldo should be given a title fight at 135 pounds when his only foray at 135 pounds was a loss? Yeah, I think so. I think we've seen a lot weirder things happen in this sport. I think the fact that Jose was at 135, I think that he's going to have a good, meaningful ranking when the new rankings get processed. Even if he's 0-1, there's some pretty smart guys that do those rankings. There's certain things they have to go off of, so they can't just anoint him the number one contender, whether it was controversy or not, and they won't. But he's still going to have a very good ranking. And don't forget, Marlon just fought for a world title. And by the way, won rounds. I mean, he's one of the baddest dudes out there. And many people believe Aldo beat him. If you don't think Aldo beat him, you at least have to concede he did a damn good job. He stayed right on him. He pressed the pace. I was a little surprised that Aldo wasn't throwing more leg kicks, by the way. And Aldo is such a master of setting up leg kicks. He's such a master. He's even got a combination where he comes to your liver, uses a body shot like a hook to the liver, and then chops. I've drilled that 100 times. I've landed at a grand total of 0. Very hard to do. It's much easier to throw a hook to the head and then come to the opposite side of the leg kick. Aldo will jig it, hook to your body, boom, and smash your leg out. I thought Aldo fought great, but I did think that that was missing, and I don't know why. I don't suggest it's because he didn't want to throw them. I would suggest that his opponent was giving him some kind of a look where he just wasn't quite feeling that it was there. But 135 pounds is a little bit goofy right now. And, I mean, Joseph Benavidez is all but getting shorted. It's very hard to imagine a scenario where Henry Cejudo returns to 125 pounds and fights Benavidez. Benavidez is the number one contender. Fact. Rankings agree with that. History agrees with that. Dana White has stated that. That's done. Joseph Benavidez is the top contender in that weight class. The problem is if the champion is a champ, and he's not coming back to 125, who are you going to fight? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if we got to just pull that belt off of Henry now. Henry needs to give that thing up, make this closure. Joseph goes and fights for the title, or doesn't do that. Henry stays champ, but Joseph goes and gets an interim title fight. Or if Joseph just doesn't get to throw that card on the table. Hey, I'm the number one contender. I got to. Maybe he doesn't get to play that hand. I don't know. But I do think it's fair if we say he's the guy that's getting the shaft in this situation. So let's look at 135. All indications by Cejudo point to 135. Whether it was calling out Aldo, whether it was calling out Faber, whether it was calling out Dominic Cruz, all indications point to 135 pounds. And I think there does start to be a question, when are we going to get on with this? Who doesn't like seeing Henry Cejudo fight, right? I even like Henry's call-outs lately. I don't think he's not asking for an easy night. Who the hell wants to fight Dominic Cruz? Who the hell wants to fight Jose Aldo? Who calls out Uriah Faber? He called out throw Frank Yeager into the mix. Henry's looking for a hard fight. Henry wants it to be a big fight. But he understands a big fight is also a hard fight. No disrespect to Henry here. But we got to get on with it at some point. Let's figure out who that's going to... And what did happen to the Dominic Cruz talk? I thought there was some real legs to that. When is Dominic... We just got some questions we don't have answers to. Garbrandt's back, which is tremendous news. Garbrandt for me is a lot like Mike Perry is for me. For me on Saturday, the greatest part of the evening was when Mike Perry walked out. And the worst part of the evening is when Mike Perry walked out the other way and it was over. Did you guys see the Mike Perry fight, by the way? The fight itself didn't last that long. And this Jeff Neal, man, this guy's the real deal. This guy's an athlete. He's a good-looking athlete. I don't just mean he's a handsome man. I'm talking about he's got broad shoulders. He's got a good stride. He's got the right size arms. He's lean. He's not packing fat around. He's got timing. He's got what we call good eyes. Not only can he see where you are and when you're there, he knows when you're coming at him, and he knows how to get out of the way. This Jeff Neal's a problem to the highest of levels. Now, he said something in his post-fight interview, by the way, that normally if you're a follower of this show, you know I don't like, which was, no, I do not deserve a championship, or no, I am not ready for the championship. I need a few more fights. It was great. It was the right answer to the question. He's not going to get the title fight. So why call for it? Don't make yourself look weak. In fact, he's probably 2 or 3 fights away from being in the discussion for a title fight, which is exactly what he said. That's exactly what's going to happen. So now he looks smart. He looks like he does have some level of understanding or power within the business. And even if you don't think that makes him look powerful, it didn't make him look weak. You call for a fight publicly and you don't get the fight, you're weak. You either didn't play your hand, you don't have enough fans, or you don't have enough influence in the office. But whatever it is, you're now showing that you're weak. Neal came out and said, no title fight for me. 2 or 3 more fights. Let's rehab this discussion. Not only did I like that answer, I also like to hear something new, right? I like to hear something. Who the hell says that? Jeff Neal made a fan out of me. I don't like Mike Perry walked to the ring. I don't like that they kept the Platinum Princess out of the entourage. Did you guys see that? Perry's walking to the ring. He's got the security team behind him. Platinum Princess is on the other side. That's wrong. Next time, she's on the inside. She dances, she walks out with Perry. That was my complaint of the evening.